is the all-important GCAP, which is goals, commitment, action plans, and perform. And what did we do? We talked about tools, systems, processes. We also talked about action steps and time schedules, and are actually doing the work, right? Now I want to put it all together and come to the very end and actually give you the actual action steps that you need to do to start doing the action steps and to get rolling with it. So why don't we just review really quickly, if we can, because it's a big list right behind me. Tools, systems, processes. So let's talk about tools. We're going to move through this because this could take a long time, and I don't really want it to take a lot of time because I want to get to the last part, which is really important on what I'm going to kick you butts into doing. Tools, CRMs, software, online tools, your MLS, RPR. We're going to circle the ones that I think are most important. RPR. We're going to talk about, we got Land Voice, Mojo, and Whitley, right? We've got Canva, Microsoft Office, and Fiverr. RPR, the greatest tool that you have to doing things quickly. Look, we want things done fast. It can do a CMA for you very quickly. It can do you can look up stuff, you can change stuff, you can make adjustments to your CMA. It is a fantastic tool. Land Voice. We've talked about the Red X. We've talked about Vulcan 7. Land Voice, sorry for my interview this morning. We're going to go with Land Voice as our recommendation, right? As far as a CRM, we're going to recommend KV Core. We're also going to recommend Lion Desk for something that's a little less expensive. KV Core is going to cost you a lot of money. A lot of companies look into what your company has. I guarantee you, as you get going in the next 2 months, you're going to outgrow it quickly. Look, CRMs have a lot of tools. There's more tools in CRMs than you'll ever use. One thing I love about Lion Desk is that you can mass text out of it, and it's really good for that. Anyway, so we move forward. Land Voice, Mojo. Mojo is a dialer. You have a single dialer, a double dialer, and a triple dialer. Why is that important? It gives you time, it gives you speed, it gives you some of your time back. So you don't want to talk to voicemails, you want to talk to human beings. That's what that's going to do for you. Land Voice is going to give you the information, and you're going to put the stuff from Land Voice into Mojo. If anybody's interested in getting connected with Land Voice to get those for sale by owners, to get those expires, to get old expires, contact me. I'll give you someone to contact, and they'll hook you up really well. Canva, that's for setting up artwork and setting up flyers and everything else that you need. Microsoft Office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and then Lucid Press. I forgot that one. Let me just put that down here. Lucid Press, because that is excellent. Fiverr, if you need stuff done like an intro, an outro, a voiceover, anything like that, if you're when you're working with video, you need that. And Whitley is also, you may notice, in our processes, and it's really important. Whitley is a great tool it's also a CRM. It's a great tool to work with your Facebook marketing and Facebook ads. Let's go to systems. TBS, time block system. I got that number one. It is number one for me. Time blocks, the number one system. If you're interested in getting what you could do and what it could look like for you, and just giving you a start so you can set it up yourself, it's right here. I've got it for you. Just reach out to me. Your ritual, another thing is very, very important. It's a system. It's your system. It's your personal system. It's your mind. It's your body. It's everything that you're going to do on a regular basis. It is extremely important and a lot of fun to work on. Open house system, your FSBO expired appointment system. You're prospecting with FSBOs. You're prospecting with expireds. But when I put appointment, what I mean is, what are you saying at the appointment? How are you getting the appointment? That's your prospecting, right? And then we're going to talk into your transaction systems when you start getting these listings and these buyers. Because when you start setting this stuff up, you're going to have an awful lot of freaking business. And you're going to want to make sure that you've got a system in place to get it done. Look, some companies will have a transaction coordinator for you. Some, you're on your own, right? Some of the big ones, you're on your own. They'll have their rules and regulations of what you can and can't do. Look, connect with me. I'll give you some ideas as far as transaction systems that you can use, which is going to save you a heck of a lot of time. On one of my Real Estate Talk TGIFs, we had a friend of mine from St. Louis come on, and she talked about doing 100 transactions a year with buyer agents and an admin. Last year, she got rid of all of them and just hired an outside company to do all her transaction processing. She still did 100 transactions a year. I can help you out with that. So that's your transaction systems. Prospecting, I mentioned up here. What are your systems what are your systems for working expires, working FSBOs? What are your systems for working with doing open houses, etc.? We got open houses up here. What are your systems for prospecting? Now, as you can see, this is in a different color. Why? Because that's how important it is. But honestly, I forgot to write it down, and this is the pen I had in my hand, so that's why it's red, right? Let's see who else we got coming on so far. We have Niles coming on. Hey, Niles, how are you? Marketing, video, SM and SM. Snail mail, social media. Both important, believe it or not. Snail mail is still a thing. The United States Post Office is not going away, I don't think. But remember, you heard it here first. Your phone system, your email system. And what I mean by that is you have emails set up, you have systems that you can use with some of your processes over here. So this and your email and your social media and your video and your marketing all come together to work in your processes, right? So let's talk about your processes since we've talked all about the tools and systems. A team. Who is your team? I'm not talking about buyer agents and showing agents and your transaction coordinator and all that stuff. I'm talking about your professional team. So, hello, Trip. I'm talking about your professional team. Now, in states and areas where there are attorneys required for transactions, it's going to include your attorney. It might include a home inspector. It might include a title officer. It will include other different types of professionals as you move along. Look, your team could be a stager could be on your team. You could have a photographer could be on your team. It's the people you put together that make you do what you do. Remember, it's not what you do, it's how you do what you do. So this is all really, really cool and exciting, and I start getting pumped up, and I can start talking about all this stuff all day long. It's your team. So your team is off by itself. It's your follow-up process. Look, it's really simple. The difference between a good agent, and we're hoping you're at least really good agents, and that means you do things right, and you're doing business. But the difference between a good agent and a great agent is a great follow-up system. It's a sales process, right? It's a sales process. It's really simple. And if you don't have one of those, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble, right? What's your connection system? That goes along with your sales process, right? So the first thing you have to understand is in a sales process, we're talking about the word conversion. And if you can see, that's also in our next thing, which we have not talked about all week. There's a thing called conversion. So when we talk about conversion, we talk about many different types of conversion. And the way I look at when a lead comes in, the way I look at it is that you've got several conversions to get to payday, right? And that's a conversion to a connection, right? So just because you have someone contact you by hitting a button does not mean that they want to talk to you. I know, right? Really strange. You've got an ad on Facebook or you got something on Zillow, they hit submit. I had 5 leads come in today from my one ad, and I called them all, a couple of voicemails, and one said, well, somebody else had my phone. That's a lot of crap. He didn't want to talk to me. Someone else said wrong number. That's a lot of crap because here's the thing about Facebook. It's the number that they're using in Facebook. So the number is not wrong. Understand that. So that's why I only teach lead ads because the information comes directly from their profile. Okay. Beside the point, you make a connection. You make a conversion from the contact to the connection. Is it a lead then? Maybe. If you talk to them and have a conversation with them, it's a lead. So it's a connection, a conversion from the marketing piece, the Facebook ad, the Zillow lead, whatever it is, to a connection, to a contact, to a discussion, or that discussion could also be at an appointment, a preliminary appointment. That appointment could be face-to-face. It could be on the phone, But best for everyone concerned, it should be a video call where you can see them and they can see you. Zoom is a great system to use. I've been using Zoom for a very long time, and I do a lot of my connections and a lot of my meetings that way. I don't have to leave home. And if I'm out on the road, I can do those with my phone, and I can always make my connection. Let's see who else we got here. Hello, Kristen. Hello, Kristen. Nice to see you here. Anyway, so we talked about team, follow-up, the sales process with the connection, and then the conversion code. I put the conversion code there. It's in quotes. If you haven't seen this book, this is the conversion code. It's written by Chris Smith. It is an excellent book, highly recommended. And let me give you, while we're talking about books, let me give you a few books to read. Number one is going to be The 7 Levels of Communication. Number 2 is The Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents. Number 3 is going to be Exactly What to Say for Real Estate Agents and Exactly What to Say. That's by Exactly What to Say is by Phil M. Jones. The Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents by Hal Elrod. Conversion code Chris Smith. Exactly What to Say for Real Estate Agents is Phil M. Jones, Chris Smith, Jimmy Mackin. I'm also going to say that YouTube for Real Estate Agents by Karen Carr, and a lot of other books, and also Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Read that one first. There's also another one which is great for mindset. It's called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. A perfect read. But I want you to start with another one. It's called Taming Your Gremlin. Read that one. It's very important. It'll get you going, and it'll get you out of your own way, which is really important. So let's go down to the conversion code. After the conversion code, you're going to understand what the 10 days is all about, the 10 days of pain. 10 days of pain is a sequence. It's a conversion process that you'll go through with your leads, your internet leads, and probably your Facebook ad leads as well. Remember, Facebook leads, social media leads, and internet leads like Zillow are two completely different types of leads, right? One is going to handle one way and the other is going to handle another way. And the conversion code in 10 days are basically for those raw leads coming from those raw places like Zillow and Realtor.com. Here we are with Whitley again. We mentioned Whitley over in tools. It is a great conversion tool and a process as well. Your sales process, as we mentioned up here, your follow-up is dependent on a sales process. We have it written down here. And then two completely other things. You need a process for your prospecting. What does that look like? And a process for your listing presentation. There are so many other things I can put here. I did put processes. You can put processes for working expired, your process for FSBOs, etc., in all the prospecting. And we talked about GCAP before. So now we talked about the tools, systems, and processes. Let's go into your actions. Now, this was very important. Now, understand that your first action is going to be where you're going to go. I'm just going to cheat for a second. It's going to be where you're going to go with your day, right? How are you going to do all the things that we've just talked about? Because I just gave you an awful lot of things to do. But I'm going to talk about your action steps in conjunction with your schedule. Remember, we've got this Excel spreadsheet for you. If you're interested, just reach out, which is going to talk about all these things. It's going to put all these things in the proper order. And here's the great thing about the Excel spreadsheet that you get. You can download it and change it any way you want to make it work for you. Now, nothing is set in stone, but I'm telling you, if you follow what's on that plan, you will have success from day one. And remember, we're going to tell you when to start and when to do it. So the first thing you're going to do every day is you're going to work on scripting, which is also role playing. It's not the same thing. I take that back. You're going to do scripts, and you're going to role play with those scripts. Look, you don't need a partner for scripts. You should get a partner for role play. Very important. It's going to help you internalize all those scripts. And we're talking about scripts for buyers, sellers, expireds, for sale by owners, your listing presentation, your pre-listing presentation, your buyer meeting, your buyer presentation, talking with investors, all these different types of things. And also what you're going to say at open houses. A lot of people don't talk about the scripts to use at open houses. They think, you're just going to say, oh, hi, how are you? Here's the bathroom, here's the kitchen, thank you for coming. No, that's not how it's going to go. I'll give you a quick script for an open house. Here's a little extra for today. Someone walks into your open house and you're going to ask them to sign in. Remember, if they don't sign in and give you their information, they can't see the house. you have to ask them to leave. No kidding. You got to ask them to leave. I want to say hello to Daryl Self as well as Robert Albora. How you doing, guys? So let's talk about that open house script. The open house script is really simple. Here's one that I would use all the time, and I have used it. Say, hey, thanks for coming to the open house. I just have a quick question for you guys. Are you a buyer? Are you out there looking for buyers? Are you're looking for a house to buy? Or are you a seller doing research? Or you just like open houses and you had nothing else to do? Which are you? And you laugh about it, and they're going to laugh a little and chuckle a little bit, and they're going to come and start your communication with you, start talking with you. You want to open the conversation, right? You want to ask them, have they been looking long? What are they looking for? And talk about the things that they're looking for and keep asking them questions. You need to be 95% questions in everything you do. So that's we're talking scripts and a little role play. The big part of your day for 3 hours is going to be prospecting. And you're going to be prospecting your sphere of influence, your for sale by owners, expireds. You're going to do figure out what you need to do with open houses, because we want you to do 4 open houses a week. Circle prospecting, investors. Now, this is not everything that you're going to do on a daily basis, but you're going to do your sphere of influence every day. You're going to do FSBOs every day. You're going to do expireds every day, and quite possibly circle prospecting. The reason we have all these listed here is, look, you're doing 5 days of this. You're doing 5 days of 3 hours. And you know what? We don't want you to do just sphere of influence one day, FSBOs the next. We want you to split it up. And also understand that you're going to do this in other ways, and there's other things that we missed that we didn't put down. Is you're going to do this by using the phone. You're going to use text. You're going to use email. Yes, you're going to use video. You're going to use video text. You're going to use all different types of things to do. Look, I think I spelled the word. Anyway, you're going to do all different kinds of things in order to do your prospecting. You can also do, direct messages on Facebook as well as Instagram, right? And then we're going to talk about something that's really, really important. In your day, every day, there has to be some you time, some me time. As there is for me, there should be for you. I talked about ritual earlier, and that's going to be up here before your day starts. Your ritual is going to be all about maybe some meditation. Definitely should have exercise and working out in there. Health, nutrition. That should be every day. And that's me time. But you're going to need some me time during the day. And that could be just 5 minutes. It could be 5 minutes of getting up from your desk or getting up where you're making the phone calls. Maybe you hang out and do busy work at Starbucks. Like me, I do that. It gets me in a system. It gets me in a groove. It gets me on a roll. Because there's nobody there to talk to. I don't know anybody there. I don't know what to do. There's nothing for me to do except my work. And it really gets me on a roll. So think about that. I'm not talking about doing your prospecting from there, but I am talking about doing your other work from there. You need the me time. You need to get up, walk around. Maybe you go outside for a walk. Maybe you take a ride. Or maybe you take a little bit more time and you actually go to a store to pick up something for lunch or whatever it is. But remember, you need time for yourself. Just remember, we talk about 3 things: your personal life, your business life, and your family life. And the order that they go in is what? Personal is number 1, business is number 2. Business is number 3, and family is number 2. So it's personal, family, business. Boy, did I screw that up. Sorry about that. Anyway, so when you've got all this stuff working, it's extremely important when you work for yourself and you work this me time, because you are working for yourself, you need to take a breath, right? So then you've got appointments, you've got lists, and you've got administrative work to do. So I don't want to miss the most important thing that's on this entire list, which is going to, what I feel is extremely important for you to succeed, and that's lists, right? So in my programs, I talk about, your annual goal, right? I talk about your annual goal and where that's going to take you. And to do that, you want to break it down. Your annual goal in a year is 12 months. We all know there's 4 quarters, there's 12 months, there's 3 months in a quarter, there's 4 to 5 weeks in a month, depending on where you live. No, I'm just kidding. But you want to break everything down. And everything you talk about and you break that goal, you reverse engineer that goal. But it all relies on a listing system that you put into place where you're setting up your list of what you want to get done for this month. So if you set a goal of 100K, and look, I know that can be a small number for a lot of people. It could be a large number for a lot of people. I'm just using it because it's a nice, easy number to think about. If you're thinking about doing this, you've got to break this number down from your goal, from your start to your finish. Now, if we're talking about a calendar year, you need to front load that 7 months, 6 to 8 months, you need to front load that. So you're looking about doing about 75K in the first 6 to 8 months of your year, and it's backloaded with the rest of it, right? So everything fills in. And I'm not saying you slow down the last 4 months of the year. I'm saying you actually keep it going and you rock and roll with it. But you need to front load it, and to do that, you need to reverse engineer it. And what's going to help you do that are lists, right? Lists are going to help you do it because you're going to look at what you got to do each month. So if your goal is 100K and you want to get to that, and this is the G of the GCAP, right? These are your goals. 100K, so I want to get 75K. What do I have to do to get 75K in 6 to 8 months? So you break that down, and okay, what do I got to do month by month by month? And we're going to give you a head start for 2020 right now, okay? And when you decide what you're going to do there, then that brings up your commitment. That's your commitment, right? So here's where we're talking about all this stuff. Your admin work, you got to get it in, figure it out. Another book for you to get is Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. It talks about putting your money in buckets, and it helps you take care of your money and also keep more of your money. That's also an extremely important goal. So what else am I missing? I'm not sure what I'm missing, but your action steps are all based on your time blocks, right? It's all based on your time blocks. Those are your actions, and here they are. These are your time blocks. So I've been talking and going on and on for a little while, but I want to come in to a time frame. I want to talk about the time frame, and I used a red pen to pull things out, and now I'm going green, and green means money. So now today is the 22nd. So what are you going to do? The first thing you're going to do is you're going to be checking your tools, systems, and processes. That is number one. That is number one. You're going to make sure what you've got is going to work for you. Do you need to change a system? Do you need to change a tool? Are your processes up to snuff? And if they're not, hey Pete, how are you? Hey Kevin, how you doing? If your systems are up to snuff, if your tools are good enough for you, if you've got the right CRM, remember, check with your company what the CRM is. If it isn't working, make sure yours is working. It doesn't matter which one you use, just so you use it and it works for what you're doing. So anyway, tools, systems, processes. That's number one. Do a good checkup. Okay, so inspect them and decide what you expect from them for the next 12 to 18 months. What do you expect? Now, if you're using, let's say you're using Lion Desk and you're having trouble with it and it's not doing something you wanted to do. Hey, you know what? Now, today, go online, look at CRMs, and then contact me if you want to ask me what I think about the different ones that you can check out. But now's the time to do the work to get it going. It's the 22nd. It's already a little late. So we want to make sure those are there. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, I've got my tools, I've got my systems, and I got my processes. They're all good. Now, that could take you the entire next week. It could take you that long, that week to 10 days, right? Because what you want to do is make sure they're all in place, right? So then you want to say, okay, that all makes a lot of sense. That all makes a lot of sense. Now, your prospecting and your schedule is next. Okay? So, and this is all going to come down to what I was just talking about with your lists. So you want to review what your schedule has been. And the only way really to do that, folks, honestly, is, you got to look at what you did the past month and what you did the past year. Did you have a schedule? And if you want to bitch and moan to me and say that, you know what, I had to do things when they came up. Well, that's a lot of crap because you don't have a business then and you suck as a boss. We don't want you to suck as a boss. We want you to be a number one boss of the year. And that's for you and your company. Do you know who your company is? Your company's you. You are the entrepreneur. You are the CEO of your company, and you need to be a damn good one. And that's why you need to check your list to make sure you're getting shit done and your schedule is working for you. So those are the two things you're going to check on this week here, right? If any snafus come in, that situation normal, all messed up, you're going to know what you've got to do, because you're going to know where you were successful. You're going to know where you were not successful. And you need to look at yourself in the mirror when you're doing this, because you cannot lie to yourself. You cannot lie to yourself. And you're going to also make up the mind, look, you've got Thanksgiving next week. And one of the things you can do on that day is, it's going to be, hopefully it's family. And family brings more stress than anything else, from what I understand. I actually read an article today talking about how people dread holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas, where all the families get together, because there's so much stress involved. Sorry if that's the case for you. Luckily, I don't have that issue. Thank God. There's enough of it, though. There's enough to think about, but it's not a lot, okay? Anyway, so you really want to take some time, take a deep breath, and really look within yourself, right? Because your determination, we talked about G and we talked a little bit about C. This is what you really got to look at, is that commitment part of you there over the next week. Can you commit to it? So let's quickly talk about the 4 C's of commitment. You've got commitment. If you really can commit to it, it's going to give you the courage, next C, the courage to really, really get there. So you've got the courage to get there. If you really, really commit, which means there ain't no turning back. If you watched Real Estate Talk TGIF this morning, episode 74 with Haas Pratt, he said that there was no way that he was going to be a loser if he went back home after he left to move to Texas. He shut the door. He could not get out. That was it. He was not going back. I've determined the same thing. I'm not going back, because I know that my goal is strong and my commitment is strong, which has given me the courage and the capacity or capability, whichever you want to look at it. And I am so confident in what I'm doing. And anybody that knows me will probably tell you the same thing. I've grown with the courage. I now have the capacity to succeed, as well as the confidence. So this is what you're going to look at over the next week or so. Then we're going to get into the beginning of December. This is going to give you 31 days to really hit the ground running. But here's the fun part. 12/1. You're going to start everything we've been working on. You're not waiting for January 1st. You're starting 12/1. You're going to hit the ground running with everything, and you're going to have a real schedule. You're going to set up the blocks, and you're going to work it, right? Now, I know around in this area in northern New Jersey, you got a lot of stuff coming on. The holidays are coming. Look, it's going to give you a great time to tweak what you've got to do. If things don't work out, you've got to start this now. If you don't, okay, fine. You want to wait? Okay, I'm just going to wait till January 1st. That's all well and good. But think about how cool it's going to be when in January 1st, you Happy New Year, yada, yada, yada. And January 2nd, you hit the ground running, and you've already got 3 new listings for the year. And the guy you sit next to, he said, I got to start prospecting. Oh, maybe I should set up a plan. Maybe I should do that. Well, you know what? He's full of crap, and you're rocking and rolling, and you've already got checks to cash in the winter. That's what you want to do. I'm going to stop right here, because you're going to start everything here. And then, okay, so the first week, you can tweak. The first week, you tweak. January 1, the first week of the year, make sure you tweak for the first of the year. And that's it, because you're already into it. You've been into it for 31 freaking days already, because December has 31 days. Hope that didn't hurt anybody's ears. Who else we got on? We've got James Chu. Hey, man. And we got Christine. How are you? I haven't talked to you in a long time. Anyway, James, thanks for coming on. I want to just point everybody to the great call we had today, the great interview and podcast we did with Haas Pratt this morning. Please go to my personal page and check it out. Real Estate Talk TGIF episode 74 with Haas Pratt. It was absolutely amazing. As you can tell, I'm still fired up from it. This is my longest session I've done in an afternoon. I want to thank anybody who has come on from the beginning to the end. And the thing about the Haas Pratt thing, if you watch it till the end, there's a surprise and a bonus, and there's also a gift on it if you watch it to the end. So if you watch to the end, there's a gift in that thing from both Haas and me. Actually, for me, Haas is going to make it happen. Anyway, thanks so much. My name's Dave Finale. Go crazy with it, guys. I'm going to be back on tomorrow and every day until the end of the year to make sure that you guys are hitting it hard and doing the right work. I'm going to have some fun. I just had a ball. It's been a great day. Check me out at realestateskillbuilder.com. Check me out here on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, everywhere. Look forward to seeing you, connecting with you. Dave Finale here at Real Estate Skill Builder. Thanks a lot.